Let Ahmed drink his energy drinks. You don't know if pot is even safe.
But I do know there is nothing that is thrown into pot that is definitely cancer-causing, and that is not the case with energy drinks. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, baby. You know it. It's Sunday night. We're back at it. It's week 5 in the books. This is where you get the hard-hitting stuff. Weed, energy drinks, football. Where else are you going to find that on Chris Sims? And rather than Chris Sims Unbuttoned, and my man Ahmed Fareed is here. He's traveled over 6,000 miles in the last 48 hours. Yeah. He's back here again. And, of course, on the night that is probably the hardest and most annoying night of his life, we had a rain delay for an hour and 30 minutes to Sunday Night Football, so we are taping this later than usual.
Yeah.
It is 11:45 p.m., and we are just getting started. The game is 10-6. Pittsburgh's winning. Their defense and special teams are doing it. We'll tell you more about that later. Hello, friend. How are you?
Hello, Chris Sims. Chris Sims Unbuttoned, presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. So I was driving in, right?
Yeah.
You guys got double Football Night in America.
Double.
You might have the highest-rated show you've ever done, which is the cool part of this
Maybe.
whole
You're
night.
right. You're right.
I was driving. I put the kids to bed.
Yeah.
I was driving in before kickoff.
Yeah.
I didn't see the last part of your show. And so I get in here, and I'm looking at the monitor, and I'm like, wow, they're warming up for the second half already? I was like, that was a quick first half.
They must have ran it every play.
Yeah, what? And it was like, oh, God.
Oh, my
I'm
gosh.
gonna be waiting around a while. But that's fine. That's fine.
Yep. We're here. We're here to do it nonetheless. Our energy's the same. I actually feel really good. It was a great, exciting day of football, as usual. I mean, what Sunday isn't? But yeah, we had a long show tonight, and it was fun. It actually got to talk about some of these games a little more in depth like we do here on the pod and talk to highlights, which is always cool.
So we will do the last-minute wins, the rookies who came through looking good in their first year in the NFL. Give me the headlines, a quick recap of what happened on Thursday night, Monday Night Football preview. We will get all of that in and get Chris to bed so we can get up and talk about it with Mike Florio in the morning as well. But we do want to start with some of the YouTube comments because they are chiming in. They care about me. They care about you.
They've gone next level.
They care about our health.
Right.
And so many of them were
talking
about...
So they're chiming in on our weed energy drink thing?
Yes.
I like it.
Alex Van Klulen said to us, Ahmed, I just want you to know that when you quit drinking energy drinks, it inspired me to quit as well. Now I solely drink coffee. Maybe you want to give it a try. So I have let down Alex.
Yeah,
I inspired him, and now I'm his role model.
Yeah, and he's like, damn, he's back on the bender, and we gotta get to Alcoholic Anonymous energy drink again.
Alex, now you are my role model. I will try to follow
Don't worry,
you.
we'll try to get him straight, Alex. Don't worry.
So Harrison trying to get me. I've tried coffee before. I try it every year. I cannot do it. But Nathan has a retort to you.
Oh, wait, hold up. We got two more here. Currently in pain, brought by energy drinks from Harrison. The caffeine will mess you up. Not comfortable at all. Stay with coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do you got for
Michael
me?
Robinson, who we do Big Ten Saturday Night with, former Penn State quarterback, Seattle Seahawk.
Right.
He had to give up energy drinks. He was drinking them too much, messed up his kidneys.
He can
tells
imagine
me
that.
every time. So I'm like, God, I'm on the road. I get it. Don't drink energy drinks. I'm here in studio.
Good.
Don't do it.
Good. It's going to mess up
go.
your stomach and your micro, bacteria or whatever the hell, probiotics
gut
and all
microbiome.
That.
That's a big thing now.
Right.
But Nathan Dean, though, has something for you here, Chris. What do you think of this? Want to tell you, I hate to tell you this, but marijuana does have cancer-causing chemicals in the smoke. Well, how can anyone who is inhaling smoke think it's not bad for you?
I don't believe, and I'll challenge Nathan to that again if he can show me that, because I'm not saying that I'm a doctor or an expert in anything yet. But
come in here with paperwork.
I definitely keep my eyes open for this kind of stuff. I understand smoke's not good for you, and it's definitely making my lungs black on the inside. I get that. But I don't think that, and I'm smoking high-quality stuff. I have not heard or read that they have definitively found something that causes cancer in marijuana yet. But I could be wrong, and maybe Nathan knows more than I do.
Nathan Dean, send it to us there. You saw the red trousers are in, but energy drinks are not. So I think more on your side, too. And who is that? Is that Turtle69420? Said, quote, let alone Chris Sims. I guess they've identified a crutch.
Oh, yeah, did I say let alone? I do say that, actually. Now that you're saying that, let alone I do say that.
Isn't it funny? It's just like there's words, and it happens all the time to me. It's
Thank you, Turtle69420.
So now we've made you self-conscious about hitting the desk and saying let alone.
Yes, thank you. Just keep picking me apart. I like it. Hey, it's part of the team. It's part of the locker room, right? You guys are part of it, so keep busting on me. I love it.
You can't rip on us. Who can you rip on?
Exactly.
We invite it. We welcome it each and every time. So
let alone it's my podcast.
Keep those comments coming. All right, let's get into the games because our promise to you is that we do talk about all the games, even when it is late at night, near midnight here on the East Coast. Let's talk about some last-minute wins. There are so many good games. How can you not start with this one? Ravens and Bengals goes to overtime. Both teams with the ball. Both teams had a chance. Looked like the Ravens maybe blew it in overtime. Bengals end up missing a field goal, and then it ends up 41-38. Ravens get the win. this was one of those games where I was like, man, the Bengals, if they offense gets going, make a little bit. The defense still looks bad, but make a little bit of a run here.
Exactly right.
And it's the Ravens who end up pulling it out.
Unbelievable game. I don't even know where to start in this game. It was so much fun to watch. It was you couldn't even do you could do a whole highlight show just on this game. There were so many big plays, so many great throws, good runs, all of that. Not a lot of great defense, that's for sure. So if you like defense, this wasn't the game to watch, right? I think we start out though. Again, I think hitting the Bengals, the fact that they're 1-4, and I would say that like today officially is like. We've sounded the alarm a little bit, like, oh, we're in trouble, right? And, you felt like after the 0-2 start, hey, they're going to have to steal some games, get hot, get on a run here. Here we are at 1-4. We know I did and other people, right? Super Bowl aspirations. I certainly saw them in that class of a team. I was wrong as far as evaluating their defense. Offense, Joe Burrow's playing awesome football. I mean, Joe Burrow, if they win some of these games, we're talking about him as MVP of football right now as far as numbers, stats, touchdowns, interceptions, all of that type of stuff. But unfortunately, I feel like he's going to have to probably play like this the whole year because I don't see a silver lining in the defense to go, this is going to get better, right? They have issues across the board. They're not great in the secondary. They're not great at stopping the run. We know that. And I think goes back, and when we flip it over to the Ravens, it's like what we talked about. The Ravens, I do think, and I kind of said this to you last week, right? I said on Wednesday, this will be the week Lamar throws for 350 because the Bengals are going to look at it and go, oh, no, we have no chance of stopping this run unless we just play heavy run defenses and take some chances to stop that. They went all in on that. I mean, Derrick Henry had 92 yards rushing, but it was 51-yard run in overtime was his big play, right? So they did okay bottling that up. But this is where I love this about the Ravens because this isn't like Lamar year 1 or 2 where we're like, whoa, I don't know if he can throw and carry the team. No, he definitely can. And when you run the ball with it a little bit, and now defenses have to worry about that, his ability to make plays, scrambling in the pocket, on time, whatever you want to say, is real. And he did it all today. I mean, he made a few plays today that nobody on the planet can make. Of course, the touchdown, two stiff arms of Sam Hubbard, then throwing that was incredible.
Yeah, that's a bad highlight for Sam Hubbard.
It's a bad highlight, but it's one guy as far as a quarterback's concerned. The rest of the team's not going to clown him in the meetings tomorrow because they're going to be like, well, we might have to play them again, and I could be that guy on the other end of that, right? Lamar has that type of respect. But the Ravens, big win for them, 3 in a row, right, they've got now. The offense is rolling. Now we don't have to hear about – because I heard a lot of people on TV like this week a little bit like, oh, we're paying $55 million a year for Lamar. He's going to hand it off. And it's like, oh, can we be patient? Can we play a team game? Why does everybody get on Lamar when he does that anyways? Like, I could get back in the past and go to other pocket passing quarterbacks and go, they relied on the run game. You never complained when they went 14 for 18 for 185 yards, right? But it becomes a thing with Lamar. Either way, we know he can throw the ball. And on their defense, listen, their defense, the Ravens, it's good. It's not great, right? It's not but I don't – today – there's a part of me that goes, they're better than what we saw today. I do think the Bengals being desperate, the Bengals having played this team twice a year, right? They have a good feel and know how to attack the Ravens defense a little bit too. So I don't think this is maybe really the true picture of what we'll see from this Ravens defense throughout the year.
So Baltimore, like you said, they did have some issues running the ball. It wasn't as free and easy until Henry breaks that one open in overtime. But now they are the first team since the 2006 Falcons with 1,000 or more rushing yards through 5 games on the season. They did have 175. They have outrushed each of the teams they have played this year by 100 yards. So they have flexed the muscle on the ground game here. And I think the biggest thing with the Bengals here is clearly they can stay in a game like this, and they almost won it with a field goal. My pet peeve, one of my coaching pet peeves. Yeah, I've said it on the pod. Why do you settle for 53
field goals? They definitely settled today. You're right about that.
It makes no sense.
Big moment like that. You
have Joe Burrow.
Well, not only do you it's Money Mac. You have Joe Burrow. You're right. You trust him, right? Yeah. He's one of the best at taking care of the football and all the sport. Money Mac's the man. Okay, and then I also think the aspect of what happened in the game is what you have to worry about. Drive the ball a little bit just in case if you miss the 50-yard field goal, now they're not in like, hey, if we get one completion, we're in field goal territory, right? So I think there's a little bit there to be talked about or thought a little bit, but I would agree with you. Throughout the league, everybody's kind of taken the, I don't want anything bad to happen, so let's just kick the long field goal.
Yeah.
And we've seen some missed in some big moments, but Burrow was phenomenal today.
Almost 400 yards. You saw the numbers right there. Here's the thing with the Bengals, though, I think, and you made this point, is that this is a team, obviously, they can play with the best and offensively can keep up with the best, but their margin of error now is so small, and I don't think they have a defense that can uphold their end of the bargain.
No, I would agree with you. I don't look at it and go, oh, hey, there's some things here. They're close. They'll get better. I think the Bengals, when they play quality teams, it's going to have to be like, can they win 35-31? Can they win 35-28?
And you can't do that for the whole season.
You can't do that.
Like.
I mean, as awesome as Joe Burrow is, and Jamar Chase was out of this world good today, as we saw. I mean, damn, 3 rockets up his ass, making plays everywhere. Really, truly phenomenal that way. T. Higgins looked great. But, yeah, Patriots early in the year, losing that game is going to come back to bite them in the butt, definitely, as they were kind of getting going. Of course, that loss to the Commanders on a Thursday night, they're going to look at that and still go, damn, that was one we kind of let slip away. So they're in an uphill battle here. And, yeah, I don't sit here. And I'm usually pretty honest. I go, oh, I like this, and I think they can turn this around. I got questions on whether they can do it. I think they get back competitive, but the way the defense looks, I don't think they're a playoff caliber team right now.
And
I think today's official.
2 years running for that defense and the Bengals.
You're
giving up big plays has been an issue for them. Houston Texans, Buffalo Bills. Winner of this game would be 4-1. That ended up being the Houston Texans with a last-second field goal. Fairbairn 59 yards with 0 seconds remaining in that one. End of the game was interesting, right? Because the Bills had, 20-something seconds, and they're back inside their own 10.
Inside their own 2 or 3 yard line, really, right?
And now part of me is like, I remember that playoff game with Allen and Mahomes where it's like each team scored 7 times in the matter of 30 seconds.
Right. No,
so it's like it 2 big plays, and maybe you're in field goal range.
Exactly right. They were in a tough spot. It's 1st and 10 on their own 3 yard line, just to unpack this little situation real quick.
Yep.
The Texans had 3 timeouts. Okay, so you couldn't run the ball 3 times no matter what. They were still going to punt the ball and get the ball in pretty good position. I think Buffalo looked at it. Now, I think the thing you can argue is maybe run it once just to give your punter a little room to where he can really boom it instead of having to take that one step, get it off quick type of punt, okay? But I think that's even still, I don't totally fault them for their approach here. I think they looked at it and went, wait, if we punt the ball to them, C.J. Stroud's going to get 1 completion and the game's going to be over, which is what happened, right? So they went, let's go down with our best dog, and that our best dog is Josh Allen, and let's see if he can make a play and get us a first down and then just get us into overtime, right, from there. Or maybe he makes a big play and now we go, well, we'll take another shot. Maybe we can get to field goal range, right?
Yep.
So I don't think it was egregiously bad there. I don't. Now, could they have called some better plays and maybe been a little more creative? Sure, we can get into all of that. But I don't look at it and go, oh, man, Sean McDermott, how horrible the management was there. The Texans were they were in a power position there, and the Bills were in a very tough spot.
What did you like from the Houston Texans, though, to get up 20-3 in this game? Eventually got closer, but what did you like?
Right. I mean, it was machine early on. I mean, it was just the bomb to Collins. The first drive was just great throws and run the ball however you want. I mean, they did whatever they want really early on in the football game.
The 67-yard touchdown pass to Nico Collins.
And here we go. You see it, right? I mean, again, a little bit of a play action, fake the toss out to the back, and then it's just your underneath crosser, a deeper crosser, and the post over the top. And Nico Collins is incredible. I mean, he's incredible. Look at who we got here.
Okay,
wow, they're back
a weekly
again.
Thing.
Look at these guys.
It's not even raining indoors.
It's not raining outside.
Or outside.
But it was a rainy day in Pittsburgh, so they brought them just in case.
Yeah, that's for the Lightning. Actually,
see you mofos.
Yeah.
Love my visits from the Football Night in America crew.
That is well coordinated.
That
right
was
there.
Very well coordinated. They're my buddies.
We had to get out of dots for that moment right there.
Yes, we did.
Well done, team.
But it was easy early on for the Texans. Is the point I was getting to. It really was. And the first half, well, really Buffalo couldn't do anything. They had a little drive with Cooks that looked good or whatever else, and they got a field goal, but nothing was easy for them throughout the day. It really wasn't. You got to be concerned about their offense going forward. But I will say in the second half, right, I know the Bills made the comeback. The big thing was that the Bills calmed down the easiness in which the Texans were just moving the ball down the field and finally made it hard on C.J. Stroud to a degree. And then Great interception by the middle linebacker at one point when they were driving. I think it was Bernard who got it. He kind of tricked C.J. Stroud when they were kind of there in fringe red zone. That was big. And then getting the strip sack on C.J. Stroud when they were backed up, right? But throughout the day, and again, I think big picture here, the game was close, very close. I'm certainly less concerned about the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, I don't think, are playing their best football right now, but I don't have much on their team that I question a whole lot, other than I go, I think they have more potential to run the ball better, and I'm disappointed in that, and that has to get better. But the things we were concerned with the Bills are still the things I'm concerned with, right? I mean, that's what I look at and just go, okay, we got, a 6-play, 70-yard drive where I want to kind of go through this real quick. It was a big run by Johnson, and it was an unnecessary roughness penalty, and one pass to Kincaid. Then the next drive, they got the ball in good field position, and they went for it on 4th and 3, and he threw a ball to Keon Coleman. He broke a tackle and ran for a touchdown. That was the extent of their offense really for the day. And then they had another tough field goal drive. On the drive, they got the strip sack fumble of C.J. Stroud inside the 10-yard line. They get 0 yards and kick the field goal. My point being is, are there enough playmakers on the Bills? I know you're sick of hearing me say this, but I'm going to say it until the cows come home, because it is an issue with them. And again, we're back into the mode. Josh Allen was 9 for 30 today.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Josh Allen's really smart. He's a pretty good decision maker. He's pretty accurate. 9 for 30 speaks to a bigger problem in your offense. And that's where I'm concerned with it. No Khalil Shakir, and all of a sudden it's like, we don't have anybody that can beat anybody down the field and do anything. And that's something we all got to keep our eyes up for here as we go forward with the Bills, because, yeah, they got good coaches. I just don't know if they got enough Jimmies and the Joes to make plays against teams like the Houston Texans.
Well, it looked like when they crushed the Jaguars on Monday night that it was the start of something bigger, but they've lost 2 since then. The Jaguars, on the other hand, finally have gotten their victory on the season, beating the Indianapolis Colts 37-34. Game performance late by Joe Flacco trying to come back, tying it up, but then a pretty good drive then, an answer by Trevor Lawrence, who you have watched film on, I feel like, the last 2 weeks here as a quarterback. Did he look as good as he has looked all year to you, just from the TV
Best
viewing?
Game by far. There's no doubt about it. I watched closely today. Yeah. I did, because I was like, man, this is going to be a big day. If they play bad, or he throws a bunch of interceptions, or, if Doug Peterson makes a bad decision, I mean, it feels like we're getting to the point with Jacksonville, like people are starting to talk about Doug Peterson being on the hot seat, right? So I was paying attention. I really was, from the get-go. Because, like you said, Flacco came out tearing it up. You were just like, damn, is Joe Flacco, is his arm ever going to age? Is he ever not just going to throw perfect spirals and lasers down the football field? But from the get-go, Trevor Lawrence hit all the throws he was supposed to, and then some. Right? The plays we complained about last week in the Wednesday Pick 6 pod, or Sunday night after the game, where I just went, he's $55 million quarterback. He's supposed to be the guy that jumpstarts the organization. He can't be missing some of these throws. He was on the money in this game. And then, of course, finding the number 1 target in Brian Thomas Jr. I still worry about their defense, but damn, their offense and Trevor Lawrence today, I felt like we're more aggressive with down-the-field concepts. That was the big thing I saw. And it opened up the rest of their offense, and then, of course, even let them run the ball a little bit with their best running back, Tank Bigsby.
So save Tank Bigsby here for a second. So we will look at some of those concepts.
Here's
the 85-yard touchdown to Brian Thomas Jr.
And you this is similar play when we watch this back. He missed Christian Kirk on the same route last week early in the game. We talked about this one. It's a slot fade, right? It's zone coverage, so 21's got to get back here. He's late, but either way, he hits Brian Thomas Jr. on the run. And Brian Thomas Jr., when he's on the run, there's nobody catching him. He's special.
He reached a top speed on that play of 22.15 miles an hour. That is the fastest speed by a ball carrier this season.
There we go.
The fastest play by a Jaguar ball carrier in the next-gen stats era.
Brian Thomas Jr. would be one of, if we had a 4x100 team in the NFL, he would definitely be in the running for the guys you would take.
So every year there are players that we hitch our wagon to, right? There are players that you saw in the draft and you were higher on than most.
Right.
We make sure we note when they produce, and he has done that. He's the only rookie receiver who's had 45 or more receiving yards in all 5 games, so he's been fairly consistent too. But, he's looking like a top 2 wide receiver from that rookie class.
He's just
for sure.
extremely explosive, and he was a little raw coming out of college, and I think you could even tell that with the way they used him early on. They've kept it simple to a degree, but every week he's kind of moving around more and becoming more and more of the focal point of the offense, and I think here within the next 3 or 4 weeks you're going to go, oh, man, every play they call is really for Brian Thomas Jr., but that was good to see. And then when they can make plays like that, and then he can hit Christian Kirk down the field a little bit, that's where, to me, the running game gets back into mode or good mode there. Well, I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. And then
great mode.
Yeah. Even
that
better.
65-yard run by Tank Bigsby, that was awesome.
It was like
one of the plays of the day.
One of the plays of the day. The 65-yard run, the other touchdown run he had where he broke a bunch of tackles.
Right.
I think I saw one stat that said he had like a 1% chance of scoring there after he like broke 7 tackles and then finally got it in. But hey, Trayvon Walker with the big sacks. This is what you want. This is what every team wants. The people we've invested in, right? Trevor Lawrence, Trayvon Walker, Brian Thomas Jr., Tanks Bigsby. They're the guys that are showing up for us in big moments and making big plays. Good for Jacksonville to get off the schneid. Hopefully their offense can keep this going as we go forward. Defense, not so great. Certainly a little worried about them. They haven't played a really good game the whole year. And Joe Flacco looked really good. There's nothing to be ashamed about by what they did there. The big thing they lost today is the fact that they have no Anthony Richardson. I think lessens their run game a little bit. And I do think that, there was a concerted effort early on, at least by Jacksonville, to not let that run game get going, and that's why you saw Flacco kind of comfortable early on.
Well, Trey Sermon was the lead back and gave him the ball 10 times. But, for the Colts, they have been in every game this year. They have 3 losses. It's all 3 by 6 points or fewer, so they're around. They're close in every one of these games.
One more guy we got to give love to on the Colts, Alec Pierce.
Yep.
Alec Pierce has become Mr. Big Play wide receiver for the Colts, and he's showing his ability to stretch defense, make plays after the catch, beat somebody deep over the top. He's got it all. He's a weapon for that Colts offense.
Another player we hitch our wagon to.
You know
that we were high on him. If it weren't for Zach Wilson, we would be a spotless record right now. I just had to bring you down a little bit after all that love. So those are the games that were decided right at the last second. We also had some games where the rookie quarterbacks came through. Speaking of a guy that we hitch our wagon to, that you were very, very high on in the draft prospect, and he has shown to be worthy of his number 2 pick. Maybe some people could make the argument number 1, although the other guy did pretty well too, and we'll get to him in a second. Commanders beat the Browns 34-13. So this is now 4 wins for Washington, matching their win total from their 4-13 season last year.
It's amazing. We got to give Dan Quinn credit. They play hard. They're physical. We've been talking about Cliff Kingsbury and the fact that his offense has more. Definitely that, right? And then, Jaden Daniels just continues to amaze us. I mean, another one from the get-go today. From the get-go, scrambles to the right, throws a 60-yard bomb on the money on the run to Terry McLaurin. He gets tackled inside the 5. They ended up not scoring. Jaden Daniels actually threw an interception, which was like his only mistake of the day. But from there on out, he was pinpoint, didn't make any bad decisions. And really today, the big thing for him, there was a few big plays. It was the runs. There was definitely a handful of plays today where you went, nobody's open, or he didn't like what he saw. And then he gets around the edge, and you go, well, nobody was open. First down, 20-yard gain. Oh, okay. I mean, an incredible weapon. And he just does it easy and effortlessly, and he never seems flustered. And I know we say that every week, but that's just the truth of the matter, and I'm in amazement of what we're seeing.
Got a run game, too, with multiple guys. Daniels obviously a big part of that as well, but Eckler had 67 yards in this one. McNichols got a score. You got Brian Robinson.
That's where they're
2
tough.
scores.
Right. They can run the football, and that's where I've been giving Cliff Kingsbury and an offensive line that I did not think was capable of moving people the way they are. And then you get to the Browns, and you talk about the Browns, and, hey, the defense certainly isn't as good as it was last year. It's not horrible. I mean, it's not a horrible defense, but you could see teams are prepared for it. And they might need to readjust and think differently about how they want to play defense. Because what you're seeing from the Browns, too, is like it's so aggressive. There's so many people at the line of scrimmage all the time. Like on the Austin Eckler run, it's like if you break through the line, you're gone for a period of time until one of the fast DBs chase you, right? Or if the quarterback gets out of the pocket like we saw today because they blitz people, he makes one guy miss, and you go, uh-oh, nobody else is there. There he goes down the sideline for 30 yards, right? So they might have to readjust their thought process. And even with the bomb touchdown to De'Ami Brown, same thing. Well, we're going to blitz. We're playing man-to-man. He gets a good release. He's gone. Boom. And this guy throws a great deep ball. So nothing's working for Cleveland. Their defense has way too much pressure on them because I think Schwartz is going, we got to win it with the defense. We got to cause a turnover because our offense is non-existent. And that's the biggest issue with their team right now.
Offense was 1 of 13 on third down. And so you're getting some 3-and-outs. You're failing to convert on third down except for one time. I mean, it's such a team game. You mention it all the time, right? It's just a defense that takes chances like that probably does need an offense that can actually sustain some drives and put some pressure on the other team.
Yes,
Limit the options.
And they're a team that, they want to be able to – this is a defense that would love to just have a little lead, right? So then they can even be a little bit more creative and crazy and unleash pass rush and do all that type of stuff. But, no, right now they're on the field too much, and they're feeling the pressure of we got to cause a turnover or make a play to win the game because the Browns' offense is the worst in football, and Deshaun Watson is one of the worst quarterbacks in football. There's no other way to say it. If this is any other team or situation, Deshaun Watson is benched, and we're not even talking about this. But because of what they traded for to get him, the $230 million guaranteed, he is totally – backed the whole organization to a corner where they don't know what to do. They're worried about the political part of it, how it's going to look to their fan base, what they're going to look like, all of that, and it's an issue.
We got to be reaching a breaking point. And you guys talked about it a bit on Football Night in America, and Jason Garrett, give him credit. He said if he was the head coach, he'd put in Jameis Winston, and that doesn't mean that you can't revisit it in a couple weeks and see how everything is going on.
No.
But I would imagine that, I mean, the fans have seen it, right? It would just be an owner decision, but I mean, at a certain point, like, why would an owner want to see a bad quarterback out there playing week in and week out?
Yeah, well, the big thing
regardless
is,
of what you paid,
I understand. At some point, you don't double down on your mistakes. You got to move on and try, or at least readjust, take a new approach to things. And just because you bench him doesn't mean he's done for the year. Maybe it'll do him some good to just sit back, relax a little bit, watch the game from the sideline, and let him think about it a little differently. I've been in those situations. It does do some good for you at times, but he is totally lost right now. And they don't have confidence in him as a football team. You can tell that too, like I told you last week. There's bad body language. There's everything going on with them. And then, of course, he's just not capable of making very many magical plays, let alone he makes a lot of negative plays too.
For the record, though, there is a viral video out there of him walking off the field and Kevin Stefanski exasperated, being like, what's going on? Why are you doing that? It looked like he was like giving up on him or not, didn't want to go. There was too many men in the huddle.
Exactly.
At that point.
That's right.
And he was like, I can't get in that huddle.
Yeah, he was right there. Deshaun wasn't wrong.
If I go in there, it's going to be a penalty. So
exactly
I got to come on. We got to call another timeout. We got to do something else. So that one was not quite.
That was not
there.
good. He's not seeing the field well. He looks at the rush too much. The play I broke down on Football Night in America, he's got 3 people. He's got one guy wide open for a 40-yard gain down the middle of the field. And he's too busy looking at the rush, and I'm going, you know what I say. I mean, I'm going, there's nobody there. What are you looking at? Just sit there. Throw the ball. But he is flustered. The time in his clock as a quarterback is messed up in his head. He has no confidence in decisions, throwing, or anything. It's bad, and I would suggest them to go to Jameis Winston.
Playoff potential, though, for the Commanders. They put themselves in the conversation here.
100%.
Chicago Bears, 3 wins, 2 losses. A lot of people had them in the playoffs to start the year, and perhaps they will finish up there. They beat the Carolina Panthers 36-10 in this one. Caleb Williams, 20 of 29, over 300 yards, a couple of touchdowns, finally connecting here with DJ Moore because there had been some bad body language and some rumors out there of some disconnect. And I think that might be over, at least temporarily here, after a good day by the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, it was his best day. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And really, started early on. I think the big thing early on is they ran the ball. They showed they were patient to run the football, and that got a little momentum. And I think it also got like Carolina, like, oh wait, this isn't going to be the Caleb Williams show. The first drive was heavily rooted in run game, and then he found DJ Moore on a wide open crossing route where nobody was in the screen, and it seemed like it kind of just opened the floodgates for the Chicago Bears offense. And it's not necessarily yards that matter when it comes to running sometimes. The attempts and just keeping a team honest and being able to keep your play action pass as a viable option, as a threat. And then also, as we always talk about, running the ball slows down the pass rush a little bit. All of those things go into it, let alone it's another week. I've seen there as let alone.
I got it, yeah.
We got the receivers healthy again there. So they're starting to build a little chemistry, and the offensive coordinator can start to feel good about, oh, wait, I can put this guy in his right role, and I can put this guy here and do all that. And you're seeing Caleb Williams really, I think, settle in finally too, and to where he's feeling comfortable in the NFL. They're protecting him a little bit. And damn, I mean, Ahmed, he made a few throws today. Forget the touchdowns. There was a few other throws on the run, some throws that got some first downs in some moments where, I mean, his arm is special. It really is. I mean, it pops off the screen to me, and hopefully this will be signs to come here as we go along. But, yeah, he was really good today.
Biggest margin of victory they've had in a game since Week 17 of the 2021 season, and so all good for the Bears in this one. For Carolina, obviously the bad news continues. They have allowed the most points they have ever allowed through 5 games in their franchise's history right now. 3-19 is the record since the start of last season. Bryce Young did come back into the game.
Yeah,
that was not injury. That was just they wanted to get him back in.
Yeah, they were getting blown out, so they got him. That's smart.
Why not?
Exactly right. He drove him down the field. He did a little something there.
And at a certain point, I feel like once the season starts getting away, clearly
they got to try to go back.
You got to go back.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've invested too much. Just like you saw the sign at the game today. The Bears fans were holding up all the things from the Bryce Young trade, let alone they didn't even cash in the 2025 second-round pick yet, right?
Right.
That's coming up. So, DJ Moore, Stevenson, the corner, of course Caleb Williams, the Darnell Wright, their right guard that they took in the top 10 out of Tennessee. I mean, it's pretty incredible what they got as far as out of that trade. And, the Panthers are not going to give up on that. The Panthers, the only thing I look at is, will the Dolphins give you a haul for Bryce Young? That would be the only team I'd go, are they willing? Because he fit perfectly in Miami. If they wanted to trade him, that's the spot. That he is made for that offense.
No team needs to give a haul.
No,
I think that's the problem right
maybe
now, right?
not. Maybe not. But I don't think they want to give up on him for the same reasons we just talked about the Browns and everything else. Yeah. It's they don't want to look like they're stupid and have egg on their face. And
Dave Canales can do. I didn't do that. It wasn't my deal.
No doubt. And their owner was involved in that, as we know. But good win from the Bears certainly. Caleb was awesome. The deep throws were amazing, and as we know, their defense brings it. And that's the other thing you can't forget about them. They are a defensive football team first, and if they can get the pass game going like this, they'll be dangerous in that NFC North.
Speaking of the defense bringing it, we move on to the Denver Broncos, who beat the Raiders 34-18, who were Devontae Adams less. You could make it about Bo Nix, and again, this is in the rookie quarterback section. Yeah. But Denver's defense in their 3-game winning streak allowing just over 10 points per game.
Yes.
One of the best in the NFL.
Yeah,
They've established that. Now, Raiders are the Raiders, and they are what they are, but Broncos have done this a few times this year now.
They definitely have. We hit it right. Their secondary is amazing. They have a great blitz package. They mix it up with everything just enough to where you never feel like it's too much blitz or it's too much man-to-man. They keep you honest that way. This was an ugly football game, and they came out aggressive as always anyways. I mean, their first touchdown to Brock Bowers, it looked like it was just all out. And Gardner Minshew just went, oh, no, it's all out. I'm going to throw it up. And Brock Bowers went up and got it was basically a jump ball.
Yeah.
And then he caught it and ran in for the touchdown. I mean, that was it. So he had that. Minshew looked good early. Early on, I was like, oh, man, the Raiders kind of got a plan here. It looks like they're going to move the ball on this Denver defense. But, literally after that point, 10-0, they could not do jack diddly shit from that moment on. I mean, it was nothing. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. He didn't have time to throw the ball. And it all ended on the Patrick Surtain 100-yard pick six, which was maybe one of the plays of the day.
Plug and Play 16 says, hey, Chris and Ahmed and company, Damo KPS2. What a performance from Surtain, officially entering the Defensive Player of the Year conversation today. He's playing out of his mind through 5 weeks, and to do it in the orange crush jerseys, oh baby, I did love the look of that. They got to go back to that D on the
it
helmet.
Is a beautiful.
It was the best,
right? And I misspoke there. I should have said, they got to 10-0, and then they had one more drive, and it was that drive right there where they had the big run from Abdullah that kind of set them up, got them going,
right?
And then he gets down in there close, right, to kind of get. Like, hey, we're thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to go up 17-3 on the Broncos.
Huge
no!
Point.
And yes, he kind of throws a bad ball into a pile of bodies. Looks like he's trying to hit Brock Bowers again with people around him. and he throws it behind him. Surtain gets it, pick six, see you later. The game was never the same from that point.
Let's take a closer look at that. It's time for home team help presented by Lowe's. We'll get the dots to do the work of this one, and certainly Patrick Surtain did help his home team here because, the way the game ended up, maybe the Broncos would have still been in it, but this certainly changed things in a hurry.
It definitely did. You see, I mean, Bowers is there. That's where now Minshew, and you'll see it when we come back and do it again. Minshew is on the run to the left. He's got some people around him. Bowers is open, but he throws the ball behind Bowers, and Surtain is there. Watch where Bowers comes from here. 89, opposite side. See, coming across. There he is. But Minshew's got 52 bearing down on him, and he's running to his left, right? So now he's a right-handed quarterback running to the left, and he tries to hit Bowers, who is open, but he throws it behind him. Surtain's got great hands and made an unbelievable play there. And, it felt like they never looked back. I mean, they got a quick field goal before the half to go up 13-10. You felt like they were settling in. Second half, they make a stop. They get a big punt return. Their special teams got involved in it, and they really started to dominate the Raiders from that point on.
I don't want to brag or humble brag here, but I was out in Seattle and hanging out with Michael Robinson, I mentioned before, Seahawk legend, never has to pay for a meal while he's out there. He invited one of his buddies out with us while we were having dinner the night before our big game. Richard Sherman was out there. So I met him for the first time. Super nice guy.
Right.
And we were talking corners because we had that discussion previously, and you said that Patrick Surtain was the best corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
Asked Sherman, and he said, by a wide margin, he goes, there's Patrick Surtain, and then there's a big drop-off after that.
Well, a lot of people want to put Sauce Gardner right there with him, right? I would not, right? I would not do that. Sauce Gardner's really good, but Surtain is literally that guy they go cover him, cover the best guy. In fact, we might not help you at all day. We might never even have a safety over by you. It's just going to be you on an island. And I think he's special that way. I do. Let alone I think he does it the right way. Sauce Gardner's really good, but it's not matchup man-to-man all the time. And I do think Sauce Gardner, as he got called on today, is a little bit grabby at times. He gets away with a lot of penalty calls. We'll hit on that a little bit as we get into that game. But I don't know it's a wide a margin as Richard Sherman saying, but he's clearly number one in my book.
That was Lowe's team help thanks to our title sponsor in Lowe's. We did see Aiden O'Connell a little bit for the Raiders. They're a team that's in flux right here, and maybe they go with the younger guy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, Aiden O'Connell definitely gives them a little bit more of a power passing game from the pocket, right? Gardner Minshew's got great feel, and he'll make some backyard pocket plays every now and then. But Aiden O'Connell from the pocket is definitely the more scary passer, in my opinion, and the guy who can make more big plays with his right arm. So we'll see. Again, the offense for the Broncos was not pretty. Bo Nix got it going. He's efficient. He's smart. The smartest thing is he knows he plays on a defensive football team, and he doesn't do anything dumb, right? So he takes care of the ball, and he kind of lets the game come to him. And then he starts to go, okay, I think we got him, and Sean's got me in some good plays, and I'm feeling confident. And they kind of got a little rhythm going there. But ultimately, the big star of the day, again, is their defense, and it's their secondary, man. Their secondary is special. Our man Riley Moss, interception today, white corner, right? Yeah. White corner supreme. Damn, I mean, him with Surtain and that group there, they are really damn good. And if Bo Nix can continue just chip away at getting better and better, the Broncos are going to be a pain as we go here because their defense is special.
So funny. You see a lot of these defensive teams where the defensive line and the edge guys make life easier for the secondary.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's a little different
here, right?
It is.
Like the secondary makes life a little bit easier for those guys up front.
Definitely. It gives them the confidence to blitz and do all that stuff because they go, wait, these guys can cover and we can let them on an island for an extra half a second because they're that good.
So, Pete, do we have the totals here for the three rookie quarterbacks we just talked about? Caleb, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix. There they are, standing loud and proud and tall. Although Caleb's he's not shorter. He's not the shortest one. We just had to make him shorter to get that graphic or the words above his head.
I think Caleb's probably right there with Bo. Jaden Daniels is clearly the tallest.
Yes.
But Caleb, I do think, is probably the shortest, though. I think he's probably a hair shorter than Bo Nix as well. Great day.
Yeah, they had
great day for rookie quarterbacks, regardless. And these three guys, Caleb and Bo, it was a little shaky at first, but we're seeing improvements week by week here. Jaden Daniels, I mean, forget rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels is in the MVP conversation right now in football. I mean, he's played that good. When you're the quarterback and you do what he's done to this point, and they're 4-1. Yeah, you get thrown in the MVP conversation when you do that.
Jaden is 6'4", Pete says. What'd you say Caleb is, Pete?
I think 6'1" and change.
6'1". Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And Bo Nix was 6'2".
Bo's 6'2".
Right.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. All right.
Oh, you
So it was pretty accurate.
I'm an expertise.
It was actually pretty accurate.
You didn't know that?
We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to the printing press. Give me the headlines as we talk about each and every game from this Sunday. Welcome back to Chris Sims Unbuttoned, presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. And now we go into the printing press. It's past midnight here. We're actually on to Monday.
Wow, 12:24.
Happy Monday to you
Happy
officially.
Monday.
when we're
Hello,
recording
everybody.
This. Give me the headlines presented by Hyundai, so we got to get these out so we can get them on the doorstep as soon as possible. So we'll start with the game that was out in London.
Yeah.
So this one's been in the books for quite some time. The Vikings get the win over the Jets, 23-17. Your headline for this one is
London broiled.
got broiled.
There was a lot of things I was thinking about. Like, I didn't know. I had so many headlines ready for this one. Not exactly the Concorde, okay?
Yeah.
The Jets aren't exactly that. I know that. But yeah, London broiled. You go over there, your defense plays that good, really played well enough, and did as good as anybody has done the whole year on the Minnesota Vikings offense, and their offense lost the game for them. Plain and simple. It was there to be had, right? Aaron Rodgers with the turnovers, of course, is the big story
of the day. He finally did what you wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Throw some interceptions.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
these weren't actually taking chances interceptions.
No, that's the problem. That is the problem. And it's what we've talked about. People are playing them and just going, we know what he's going to throw, where he wants to throw it. When we blitz, it's the second week in a row I've seen two coordinators go, I know exactly what he'll do in blitz. I know the 4 or 5 plays he'll check to. And everybody's all over that stuff.
So you think that was the Van Ginkel pick six?
100%. All right, and I could show you plays last week from the end of the Broncos game to go, look, the Broncos know exactly where he's going to go to the ball. That's why if everyone's feeling like, you don't blitz quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, do you? This is what I was told. You don't blitz Peyton Manning. You don't blitz Aaron Rodgers. You don't blitz Tom Brady. They're too smart. They've seen it all, right? Yeah, they've seen it all, but when one guy does the same thing over and over to compound it or beat the blitz, they go, well, we've seen it all, and we know what you're going to do. And that's where they need to self-scout thyself a little bit there. But, yes, that was totally it. What do I make fun of them for all the time with what they do? What's their favorite route?
Slant?
Yeah, duh. Slant? What do you think he was throwing on that pick six? There was 3 slants to the right. Inside slant, Garrett Wilson slant, and one more slant on the out. So
only one guy was not running a slant, and that was Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel, right. And it's like he literally knew where he was going to go with the ball. He went, he won't throw to the tight end on this one. He's going to go for Garrett Wilson on the second of the 3 slants, and he dropped right underneath it, and he threw it right to him. It's embarrassing that they couldn't even get a first down until the second quarter. They couldn't do anything. Their defense kept them in the football game for a while. It really did. And then they finally got it going, right? They caused a turnover, got a short field, got the touchdown, 17-7, and they started to hang around there. And they got in a little bit of a rhythm as an offense. But still, it's too hard. It's all too hard. 54 pass attempts for 244 yards.
22 targets to Garrett Wilson. They connected 13 times. So
right.
Just
and very few are down the field, right?
They don't seem to be on the same page a lot of times, too.
No,
there seems to be a little miscommunication.
With both of them. I would agree, and I think Garrett Wilson, like we heard him say this past week, he's going, wait, we don't do anything on offense. I see all these other offenses doing this stuff. He's going, all I do is run bubble screens and slant routes. So, yeah, he's not feeling it. That's where he's not liking it. So it's got to change to a degree. Because people do know what they're doing on that side of the ball especially, and I will still say they need to attack down the field a little bit more. He threw the one interception down the middle of the field, right, where I can't remember exactly who got that one. I think it was Bynum, right? It was the safety Bynum, and that felt like I've been throwing it short, and I haven't thrown a ball down the field, so I'm going to throw it here now. And there was like 3 people around him. So it's like his emotions and frustrations got to him there. He throws the interception there. And then, of course, at the end of the game, that was a bad throw. It's not necessarily the bad read, but it goes back to our predictability thing. One-on-ones, he throws it outside. It's the only time he will. And if he's throwing it outside, what does he throw?
What, an out?
And a go route or a back shoulder, right?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot totally like that. I know. You flew 6,000 miles in the last 48 hours. I get it.
Sometimes it is an out.
But that's what he does. And I don't know if you've seen the play yet.
Which one?
The last interception. Like Gilmore
Mike Williams,
Yeah, Gilmore played the back shoulder.
Yes.
He literally was like, wait, I'm at 10 yards. This is when the back shoulder comes. He never turned and ran. He just stayed square and literally was like, wait, I'm going to wait for the ball. And then Rodgers didn't throw the appropriate ball off of that. He showed that high and outside. He threw it low and inside, right? But, again, it goes into it again where, listen, if I'm seeing this stuff, of course the other team's seeing this stuff. They're watching a lot more film than me on their opponent. And so that's where it's disheartening. He's still got too much talent to be looking to throw the ball 3 yards every play. His arm is still damn good. He's wasting his God-given talent by being Charlie freaking checkdown, and that needs to change if they want to go where they want to go in New York.
Yeah, well, we saw that. I mean, scrambling ability where he's moving all around, and who did he hit in the end zone on that one?
Let's see. I'll get it to you. That was Lazard, I believe, and that was that was old Rodgers, right? Step up in the pocket, kind of looking to the right, throws a laser to the left corner or the back left side of the end zone there. That was great. That really was. So that talent is still there, but I think they need a few more ideas. They can attack down the field a little bit more, would certainly help, and we'll see where that goes. But their defense did as good as anybody I've seen against this Minnesota offense. Yeah. Now, the encouraging thing for Minnesota is that their offense didn't play great, and they still found a way to win the football game.
Still won.
And that to me is an encouraging sign. They're 5-0, and they've done it just about every way possible, and they're really a complete football team.
First 5-0 start in 8 years for the Minnesota Vikings. Coop goes vroom, wants to give a little damn okay, a shout-out. Good. He goes, if Harrison Smith played for the Cowboys, Packers, 49ers, or Steelers, the media would be talking about him as a first-ballot Hall of Famer, 20 sacks, 35 INTs for his career as a safety, one of the all-time greats.
I don't disagree with what he's saying. He definitely would get more credit if he was on a little bit more of a high-profile team or, if he got to just play maybe in some more big showcase games, which the Vikings haven't had many of those, throughout his career. They got to one NFC championship game, and that game was over by the late second quarter. So nobody really, he's not his household name maybe like to the extent he should be, and I don't disagree with that comment.
Sorry, Vikings fans didn't gush a ton about what you guys have done, but we've been gushing all season, so this was a little less on this one. Yeah. Cardinals beat the 49ers 24-23. Yeah. Your headline of this one is?
Meep, meep. Yep, that's what it was today. Meep, meep. Yeah, it was Kyler Murray. I mean, from the start of the game, first off, he runs a little quarterback run, and his acceleration is so special. He's gone within 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. Nobody going to catch him. Incredible play that way.
The funny thing is, we're seeing on the dots. The funny thing is, I was like, yeah, what a great play. And in my mind, I'm trying to think, how far was that? I was like, I think it was like probably 25 yards because it happened so fast, right? And then I looked at it's 50 yards.
Oh, he's still special that way. And I love the design of the play. It's the 49ers. They're aggressive. It's a 1st and 10. They're thinking, they might run the ball. They fake it to James Conner up the middle, and then he's got Elijah Higgins being a lead blocker for him out front on the right side there, and he runs it in. Now,
let me give you the speed because I've been given speed.
Go ahead.
I've got my radar gun out today. 21.2 miles per hour. That was the fastest by a quarterback as a ball carrier over the last 8 seasons.
And I guess after that, I will say meep one more time because that's what it deserves. That was a 2-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. You're not used to seeing the 49ers do that a lot.
49ers lose their kicker, Jake Moody.
That was a big part of the game.
It really affected them second half when they had that 4th and 20-something, and they had
24,
to go for it.
And they went for it,
from
right?
the 27
7-yard line. Yeah. They could have got a first down, and I believe they almost got it. I mean, it looked like Kittle had the ball around the first down, and he kind of got hit just as he caught it. And you were like, holy cow. I was kind of getting dressed and ready and trying to watch that and the other games there, so I didn't get to see all the details of that moment. But, Moody having to make a tackle on a kick return. He got a high ankle sprain. That certainly affected them today. And the 49ers, here's another game like we talked about yesterday or last week, and there was a few today where you felt like, again, they outplayed the Cardinals. But in big moments or the gotta-have-it moments, they're kind of either they're messing up or they're letting the other team make a play. It felt a lot like the Rams loss a few weeks ago where you went, wait, they're the better team. They're kind of dominating. But oh, man, It's a fumble. Oh, it's an interception. Oh, we can't kick a field goal in the big moment. Oh, we let them make a big play in the big moment. It's just stuff we haven't seen the 49ers do a whole lot in the Shanahan era, especially when they're playing well. They're the best 2-3 football team in the league, but definitely a little concerned that they have not had the mojo to figure out how to win some of these close games this year.
So this is either really good news or bad news, or maybe a little bit of both. They have a losing record through 5 games for the 7th time in the last 10 seasons. So they have been in the situation in the past, and of course they've been very successful. Lobs all day says, damn okay. You say Kyle Shanahan is a great coach, but why does he have a hard time finishing games? He always seems to blow fourth quarter leads somehow, some way. Please elaborate. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I think that they can maybe lose their aggressiveness with fourth quarter at times. He's like maybe doesn't call as many aggressive plays on the offensive side of the ball. I think that would be part of it. A part of it, too, is I always have said this, the Seattle scheme is just that lays it out there for teams to nickel and dime you and come back and make it a game. I think there's that aspect there. I do think that they're a team that, they want to run the football first, right? And when they're up and have a lead, yeah, they want to keep running it. And teams are going, wait, we're down. They're going to run it. We got to go all in to stop it. And they take some chances. And if there's anything throughout his time or whatever that you could question in San Francisco is the pass game being able to stand alone by itself when the run game doesn't work. I think they're really close to being able to be that type of team with Kyler Murray. But it's one of those that's kind of hard to figure out a little bit. It really is. I mean, they're not blowing that many leads. You got to 2 Super Bowls and 4 NFC championships, so let's not go too crazy here, right? But I understand. And there's certainly, hey, you start the first half out, right, and it's 23-10. You got the ball to start the second half. They get a tip pass interception to start the third quarter. And then they don't even do anything, and they get a field goal, so make it 23-13. So that cuts into the lead. You drive down the field late in the football game, and you run a toss sweep to Jordan Mason, and he fumbles on the 9-yard line. I mean, that's not Kyle Shanahan. Sometimes the players let you down too. So unfortunate that way there. And then their defense this year is definitely seemed to have let up a few more big plays than we're used to with the 49ers.
And one of the big plays was not a long play, but it was the 4th and 5, under 3 minutes to go, where Kyler Murray does another great job in backpedaling on the blitz.
Was that unbelievable?
Lofts it up to Marvin Harrison, which is something he does very well, body positioning and blocking off the defender and securing that catch.
He's a big body. He knows how to use his body, go up and get the ball, attacks the ball. Got great hands, right? I mean, he's going to be a damn good player. He really is. I don't think he's Brian Thomas Jr. or Malik Neighbors for that, but I still think he's damn good, and they're going to continue to figure that out. But, hey, that play there was phenomenal, no doubt about it. And then his running. Kyler Murray's run, 7 runs for 83 yards. Yeah, that's a tough day. The Niners are still a little beat up. The good thing is they got Ayuk going today.
Yep.
Hopefully that can help. Hopefully they can get McCaffrey back soon. That'll be big. But, yeah, the defense to this point has not been as dominant as we've known them to be maybe in some of their Super Bowl years.
That was Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai. Dun, dun, da, da, dun, dun, da, da, da. I actually haven't seen a whole lot of this game. I've been so focused on our show that this game has been passing me by. Steelers with a 17-13 lead, 4.5 minutes to go. Cowboys with the ball trying to drive.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers just went on a big drive. Fields threw a touchdown pass. They were down 13-10 right after the Cowboys really went on a 16-play 90-yard drive where they kind of just 5 yards, 8 yards, 5 yards, 8 yards all the way down the field, got the touchdown.
Matt Casey is behind us. He has been reporting that
and
the
he
Cowboys
said it was an ass whooping.
Have been dominating.
Exactly right. But Justin Fields answered on this last drive. And he certainly made some good throws, and they got, running the ball a little bit. We'll see if they can hold on. Right now, the Cowboys are at the 43-yard line, 3:55 left, fourth quarter, 17-13 Pittsburgh. We'll see where it goes. Dallas has been the better team on the field all night long. It has been strip sack, right, of Dak Prescott. He threw a bad interception in the end zone, and then they scored this last touchdown, after he threw the post route interception to Joey Porter. And then they went down the field to score. Sorry, I was a little off in my drive chart there.
Apology accepted.
Thank you.
We'll keep you updated on that one. The Arizona Cardinals, we just got done talking about them. They're the only team in the NFC West that won today. We go to this segment called How the NFC West was lost. And we'll start with the Packers defeating the Rams 24-19. Rams stayed in this one. Jordan Love with one of the worst pick six interceptions that we will see all season. I mean, it's in the Will Levis category.
That was Will Levis, Carson Wentz, whatever you want to say. You're exactly right. It was
crazy.
full Tropic Thunder moment where you just go, oh, my gosh, don't do that. Don't do that. And, Jordan Love, some bad interceptions last week.
Yeah.
That was a bad interception
He's a slow
there.
starter. I feel like he's not a first-half quarterback.
I feel like today is the day that will settle him down, though, and make him good from here on out. I do. They got some real mojo going on in the late second, third quarter to hopefully this can springboard him to feeling confident. They ran the ball well today again, got back to that. I think that was the positive thing. The Rams are a pain in the ass, and they hang around, and they make plays, and Stafford is tough as hell. But he did make a few mistakes in some moments here today. At the interception to McKinney that I believe ended up being points for the Green Bay Packers there at one point. But they're undermanned, the Rams. They can't hang with a team like the Packers. The Packers aren't even playing their best football. They're clearly a better team than the Los Angeles Rams.
You mentioned him. Xavier McKinney is the first player since the merger with interceptions in each of his first 5 games with a new team. Dirk the worst is damn okay. Xavier McKinney eating up turnovers like the bakery's got them on sale. Well done, Dirk the worst.
Ooh, it is good. The Rams are all Kyron Williams and Matt Stafford right now. And if they make a mistake, it's like, right? And like I said, I believe he threw the interception that ended up points for the Packers. But then we had the third quarter, Kyron Williams, who ran well today. He's still one of the best running backs in football. He fumbles, and then 2 plays later, that ended up being the Tucker Kraft 66-yard touchdown pass, right? And it seemed like from that point on where the Rams were like, whoa, it's 13-10, and they're driving here again. Is this going to happen? They get the turnover. Williams fumbles. They score a touchdown, and the game was really never the same from that point on.
Because I've been doing it the whole podcast, I just want to let you know Tucker Kraft reached a top speed, almost 20 miles an hour, the fastest by a tight end this season.
Oh, my.
How about that?
Well, how fast was it?
19.7 miles an hour.
That's pretty good for a big guy. Yeah, you're pretty good.
Right, well done there.
And I was wrong on my Stafford bad interception to McKinney, which he threw into double coverage. Right, that didn't that might have led to the last touchdown to make it 24-13. So I wasn't totally wrong. I just thought it was a little earlier.
Jimmy Dean does say, "Damn okay. Will the Rams be in every game they play this season?" Sean McVay is the king of keeping injured teams viable.
He is.
They really are
because they take the right approach. They run the right plays. Stafford maximizes what's available to be had throwing the football, right? So all of those things make them tough. But at some point, it's just like he can't make 50 perfect decisions and throws all game long, every game, right? Somebody else has got to help out. You know, their defense is playing hard. But again, I don't know if there's enough playmakers and specialness over there. We'll see. They were certainly outmanned. Green Bay, though, hey, Jordan Love hasn't had a really smooth offensive game yet. Hopefully this starts here because today was rocky, but it ended up being good.
And despite that, Rocky, Willis playing a bit. They're 3-2 right now as we sit here 5 games into the season for the Green Bay Packers. The New York Giants have done it again. You're welcome, say the Detroit Lions, giving the blueprint how to beat up on the Seattle Seahawks defense. Giants were the season high in points, total yards, rushing yards. They had 175 in this one. Your G-men victorious on this Sunday.
The G-men. And it couldn't have started in a more disastrous way. We drive down the field. You're going, we look great. We're going to carve the Seahawks up. And
Chris Sims yelling, take the points. Take the points, Brian.
And we fumble on the 1-yard line. And I don't know. It looked like it might have been a touchdown, but you couldn't really tell.
That's your fandom. That's
it might have
blue
been
blood.
Well, it was one of those where there was no clear-cut replay, right? Like you're watching the game and your common sense goes, I think he scored.
Yeah.
Right? But
not enough to overturn it.
But not enough to overturn it, right? And Rayshon Jenkins, he returned it for a touchdown, and that was a big moment.
But despite that, Giants come back and look not even just competent. No Malik Neighbors in this one, right?
No.
But we're able to get it moving and keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean,
what were the biggest reasons why?
Daniel Jones played really good today.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. I think the other thing is the fact that, like we talked about it last week, it's still a Steelers defense that's pretty decimated by injuries.
Correct.
So that, I think, was part of the reason why they could run the ball as successful as they could. That was a big thing. Their front, the Giants' defense was great today. The stats are a little misleading. I mean, Geno and the Seahawks offense, who looked really good last week against your Detroit Lions football team, they couldn't get it going, right? They really didn't get anything going until a little bit later on in the football game. But the Giants, their front made a play, stripped DK Metcalf at one point. That was big. I mean, it was a good team win. But most of all, it was Daniel Jones and company being really good. And another one where you went, wait, they've controlled the game. They're dominating the game. Are they really about to go into overtime here?
Yeah.
Or lose this game somehow, some way?
47-yard field goal, and it's Isaiah Simmons who hurdles the center. And I'm actually quite confused on what is allowed and what isn't allowed on field goals, because it seems like there's some times where you jump over and they're just like, well, you can't do that.
Yeah, well, you have to line up on the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
You can't take a running start.
Okay.
And the other thing is you just can't touch any of the O-linemen as you jump over them.
Right.
Which he didn't do either.
Okay.
So basically what I'm saying is you need a freak of nature to line up and have a 40-inch vertical to jump over the line and then be able to jump real quick and block a field goal.
So Isaiah Simmons is a freak, yes.
Yes, he is.
I believe every team would have a player that could do that.
Yeah, I
mean,
a
wide receiver even, or something like that.
You're right. I mean, I would think there's somebody almost close to capable of that, right? He's pretty special, I will say that. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to burst your bubble or anything like that. I was just like,
take some more chances.
Like, are we allowing that? Like, even the 49ers one where they had a blocked, I was like, I know you can't lean on like leverage.
Yeah, you can't leverage.
But when on the 49ers blocked, the defensive player was leveraging another defensive player who was on top of
another guy.
Yeah, an offensive
so
lineman.
There's some intricacies there that I don't know if I can totally tell you about there.
Gotta do Zapruder or whatever
Zapruder film there.
Yeah, to see what's going on there.
But anything else there? Yeah, I think we need a little update here.
Dun dun da da dun dun da da da.
The Cowboys are driving as we speak. They are down.
Seconds.
No, right now it is. They are inside the 5-yard line. Just threw a screen pass to their fullback, Lupke, I believe is his name, and they're at the 4-yard line. 52 seconds left. Pittsburgh up 17-13. And their defense is going to have to come in clutch here to save the game for the Steelers.
What's going to happen in this game? Do not check your phone if you do not know the score of this game already. We will do it live on the podcast next. Welcome back to Chris Sims Unbuttoned, presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. I hope you are not checking highlights. You've not checked Twitter. Whatever time you are watching this, you do not know the score. The final score of the Cowboys and Steelers.
They know the scores of every game we talked about already.
Maybe one person out there doesn't. So
Dak Prescott just ran to the left.
Half-yard line.
Minka Fitzpatrick tackled him.
Fumbled out of bounds. Why are we? Did they take a break? Why are we watching this so many times?
I think they are taking a break, and we're just getting the actual feed. But they are checking to see, like, maybe if he fumbled and the ball would have touched the goal line and got out of bounds that way, right, to where you'd have a touchback. That's not the case here, though. We are in a timeout. And it's 36 seconds left, 2nd and goal from the half-yard line. The Steelers are in deep trouble.
All right, we can call this live, but you know what we can do? Because we can probably talk about this in 35 seconds. Dolphins defeat the Patriots 15-10.
Oh, man, ugly football game, no doubt about that. I give the Dolphins a lot of credit for just kind of hanging in there, playing tougher than maybe I thought they would have played. You know, they can't score touchdowns. They certainly aren't making the big plays that they'd like to make. It's a field goal fest more times than not, right? I mean, they're not as efficient. They've turned the ball over. You know, there's issues that way. But, hey, at the end of it, all there needs to be said is, you know, running the ball. Their draft pick, Jalen Wright from Tennessee, Raheem Mostert, they were the difference in the game, and especially on the big drive at the end of the game. It was all Wright, Mostert, and they got a big PI that set them up for the 15-10 to go up 15-10 and get the touchdown with Alex Ingold on the fullback dive up the middle.
That wraps up our recap of Dolphins and Patriots, and now we're back to live TV. They've put more time on the clock, 47 seconds.
47 seconds, 17-13.
Refs are still walking on the field. They're still talking on the microphone. The refs have taken over. The refs have taken over this game.
They've taken over the game. They're going to have another conference here, so we got more time to go here.
Okay, well, we have nothing else to do. But hold on, we do.
We do.
We don't want to forget what happened on Thursday. Over 500 yards for Kirk Cousins. Hold on, pause that for a second because 37 seconds left. They've taken the clock back down. They added time, taking it down. Second goal from the half-yard line. Dak Handoff.
Up the middle.
Oh, it's a fumble! Oh,
Holy
my
cow.
God.
Now they got the ball at the 4-yard line. They're going to have to call a timeout.
So now they should call timeout.
Oh,
Holy
my gosh.
mackerel.
What a play right there. I don't know. Who was carrying that ball there?
That was Dowdle.
That was Dowdle. Dowdle jumped from about the 3-yard line.
I think it was a helmet
and
on the
he
ball.
got smacked up in the air.
Let's see who it was.
It was penetration from the Steelers defense from the get-go.
Overhead view.
Man, yeah. 92 is Loudermilk, I believe.
50.
And then 50, is that a Landon Roberts?
Just with his head.
I believe so. So you'll see Loudermilk makes the play.
Oh, my God.
And then Landon Roberts has a steel head. I will say that. He is one of the greatest hitters in the game.
I'm just going to take my head.
Oh,
I'm
my
just right on the
gosh.
football.
They are fortunate. Good, and that's why in those situations as a quarterback, you don't carry out fakes and you don't do boots because you got to stay there, watch the ball to maybe recover it, which Dak Prescott did, being Johnny on the spot there. So now we got 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. And now, one timeout, they could run it, but they're not gonna. And it's going to be a pass, and this is where it could be T.J. Watt time or Dak Prescott time.
Dak
We'll see.
looking left, back to pass. Now looking back right over the middle of the field,
Oh,
throws it
my
low. We're going to have a
gosh.
4th and goal.
Threw it low.
Ooh.
Looks like he hit the receiver in a
Right.
spot where you don't want to be hit.
Which, yeah.
It skipped off the ground and hit him right
we're
in the Franken
We're all adults here, the man region.
The man
region.
region. But this was a play here. Now, Prescott didn't have pressure, but he knows he doesn't have a lot of time. He doesn't want to take a sack. He kind of panicked in the pocket. I do think that if he just stood there, Tolbert was open in the back of the end zone. Did you not think so? I thought he had a step.
Yes.
But he kind of panicked and he threw it into the ground. So here we go.
Oh,
4th
my
and
gosh.
goal.
It all comes down to this.
I'd
For the
like to win this. I did
They're
pick.
going to take timeout. I was going to say, you do have a timeout left. You might as well use it here. Make sure you got the right play.
Yep.
Don't feel rushed. Mike McCarthy is
Yep.
going to.
They're going to think about it a little bit.
This is perfect. All right, so when we
Yeah.
have a second, we
Right.
got one more game coming up on Monday. We got Saints at Chiefs. Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites, but breaking news, you picked – it's not that breaking. It was Thursday.
Yeah.
You picked the Saints to win by a touchdown.
I did. I think the Saints are a tough matchup for the Kansas City Chiefs. One, the Chiefs, not great receivers right now, right? The Saints can do everything on defense, let alone they can play some man-to-man. They are creative with pressuring the quarterback and blitz. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to run the ball on the New Orleans Saints. And having said all of that, I think, again, the Saints' offensive line is good. I think that the Chiefs will have to take some chances and play some man-to-man to crowd the line of scrimmage a little bit. And we know the Saints can throw the ball down the football field. So this was kind of my upset of the week, and I'm going to take the Saints on the road.
DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers can bet $5. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the app. Use promo code UNBUTTONED when you sign up.
DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Here we go.
4th and goal.
4th and goal from the 4.
Last chance for the Cowboys. Dak
CeeDee
Prescott.
Lamb is down here on the bottom of the screen. I'm going to think he's going to run across the formation.
Dak's looking the other way, though. Coming back over to CeeDee.
He's got time to throw it.
Throwing short.
Touchdown.
Torvald got it. Touchdown.
Wow.
Oh, my
Big time
gosh.
play. Big time.
Just about a yard deep in the end zone. Mike Tomlin's shot. Zoom into the eyes. He is upset. Mike McCarthy, opposite feelings.
Big. I'm not going to say win yet, but certainly in the driver's seat here to go up and win this football game. It's going to be 20-17 if they make in the extra point.
Yeah,
Great call.
No timeouts for Pittsburgh.
Looked like they used CeeDee Lamb really as a decoy. Crossed the field. Was on the left side, had a lot of tension on him. And then they brought Tolbert underneath. And he was one-on-one. And Dak Prescott, I think the thing that I was most surprised there is the amount of time he had to throw the football and let the whole play develop.
Sure.
Pittsburgh couldn't get there, and now Dallas is going to win the football game.
Tolbert ends up being the most targeted receiver for the Cowboys. 10 targets, ends up with 87 yards.
They need another guy to jump up. And,
Touchdown.
they drafted him, in the 3rd round 3 years ago? Hopefully this is the time he can do that and start to be a real presence for this offense.
All right. Do we just assume that we end the pod? Good night, everyone.
Only thing is we didn't hit
Cowboys
Thursday
won.
night game, did we?
Yeah.
We didn't hit. Did we
Wait.
hit Bucks?
Oh,
Falcons?
I went away from that. That's right. We did one sentence on it. Then the game started. You want to talk about that a little bit more?
I'm just totally impressed, right?
Yes.
I mean, first off, the game plan altogether, the Buccaneers were moving the ball at will on on Atlanta's defense early on in the football game. They adjusted in the second half, and it looked like they were kind of trying to be aggressive early on in the football game, blitz zones, maybe a little bit more man. And when you do that against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, they throw it down the field and they attack. I mean, no doubt about that. But as the game went on, Todd Bowles and Tampa Bay can't help themselves. They're always blitzing, always blitz zoning. And Atlanta settled in, and Kirk Cousins just absolutely surgically destroyed them. I mean, the whole game from that point on. And, yeah, even after he throws the interception late in the game, the Bucs not being able to get the first down, the missed face masks, too, we had towards the end of the game. It was a great, fun game all around, but an incredible comeback and unbelievable Kirk Cousins. For that performance for a guy that's gotten made fun of a lot for his primetime performance, he's kind of been clutch this year.
This year, for sure. Michael Penix was at the game, and he was honored in Seattle at the Washington-Michigan game, college football Big Ten game, honored at the end of the first. They love him there. Oh my God. The place was going crazy. The place is loud anyway. The place is going crazy. He won't be playing for a while. It seems like it's not
happening this year.
He's going to get to learn.
No, and if they get in the playoffs and Kirk Cousins plays really well, that could filter into next year. So we'll see where that goes. But good for Kirk Cousins. He's had the pressure on him with the contract, the injuries, all of that, and he really put up an awesome performance on Thursday night.
Jacob Demian tweeted at you and said, "Damn okay to Chris and Ahmed." And Pete as well, and Matt Casey who's with us here. Chris is probably going to have to pull an all-nighter tonight. You might, because you go in. What time do you get in this building, or what time do you wake up?
I will
tomorrow?
wake up at 5:30.
It is almost 1 o'clock.
It's
right
12:56. Right. I'm going to go home.
So if you,
I usually can't go to
now,
sleep till 2:30 on these nights, even when I get home at 12:30, because look, I'm too charged up. My brain's flying. Right.
Yeah. So Brian's in there talking in the other room.
Yeah, exactly. So
keep it down.
I'll be up and ready to go, but then I will crash for a big time nap. As we talk about this last play again, they brought Tolbert all the way across the formation. I was correct. They brought CeeDee Lamb over the top, and he took 2 people with him, right? And now it made it 1-on-1. For Elliott and Tolbert coming across the formation, and Elliott's a safety. This is not a position you want him in more times than not, but they went all in on we got to stop CeeDee Lamb because that's their go-to guy.
Good job by Mike McCarthy.
Yep.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Big win for Dallas.
We're just going to assume. We're going to sign off now as the Dallas Cowboys have won this game. If it ends up being that we were wrong, we will issue a correction on Wednesday.
Yeah,
that's what we'll do.
Or we'll put it on social media or something like that. But it's going to take something miraculous for the Steelers to win this one now. Either way, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Week 5 in the books. You know where to find us. We'll be back Wednesday for the Pick 6 podcast. Come at us. Any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to know about your football team, a player, we always welcome that. And that's what I'm here to do, break it down. All right? Ahmed, you were the man as always. Thank you for flying across the country twice to come back to do this.
I would have done it a third time.
Damn, I don't know about that, but I like it. Either way. All right? Be careful with those energy drinks, all right?
I think I'll
Careful,
slow down.
kid. All right? We like
People are counting on me.
They are. They're counting on you. Yes. You're a role model. All right, everybody. Be good. We'll see you Wednesday. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Peace out, homies. Clap it up. Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Sims Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.